अस्सलाम वालेकुम। तो आज के इस रीडिंग पैसेज में हम देखेंगे रोमन टनल्स को। ठीक है, यानी कि हम इसकी रीडिंग करेंगे। तो दी रोमन्स हु वंस कंट्रोल्ड एरियाज ऑफ यूरोप, नॉर्थ अफ्रीका एंड एशिया माइनर, ठीक है, अडॉप्टेड द कंस्ट्रक्शन टेक्निक्स ऑफ अदर सिविलाइजेशन टू बिल्ड टनल्स इन देयर टेरिटरीज। ठीक है, अब हम इसकी डिटेल पढ़ते हैं। The Persians who lived in present-day Iran were one of the first civilization to build tunnels that provided a reliable supply of water to human settlements in dry areas. In the early first BCE, they introduced the Qanat method of tunnel construction, which consisted of placing posts over a hill in a straight line to ensure that the tunnel kept to its route, and then digging vertical shafts down into the ground vertical at regular intervals. Underground workers removed the earth from between uh, the ends of shafts, creating a tunnel. The excavated soil was taken up to the surface of the shaft to the surface of using shafts, which also provided ventilation during the work. Once the tunnel was completed, it allowed water to flow from the top of the hillside down towards the canal, which supplied water for human use. Remarkably, some canals built by Persians 2700 years ago are still in use today. They later passed on their knowledge to the Romans, who also used the canal method to construct water supply tunnels for agriculture. Roman canal tunnels were constructed with vertical shafts dug at interval of between 30 and 60 meters. The shafts were equipped with handholds and footholds to help those climbing in and out of them, and were covered with a wooden or stone lid. To ensure the shafts are vertical, Roman hung a plumb line from a rod placed placed across the top of each shaft, and made sure that the weight at the end of it hung in the center of the shaft. Plumb lines were also used to measure the depth of the shaft and to determine the slope of tunnel. The 5.6 km long Claudius Tunnel, built in 41st century CE to drain the Fusain, involved approximately 30,000 workers. By the 6th century BCE, a second method of tunnel construction appeared called the counter excavation method, in which tunnel was constructed from both ends. It was used to cut through high mountains when the canal method was not practical alternative. This method required greater planning and advanced knowledge of surveying, mathematics, and geometry, as both ends of the tunnel had to meet correctly at the center of mountain. Adjustments to the direction of the tunnel also had to made whenever builders encountered geological problems or when it deviated from its set path. They constantly checked the tunnel's advancing directions. For example, By looking back at the light that penetrated through the tunnel mouth and made correction whenever necessary. Large deviations could happen and they could result in one end of the tunnel not being usable. An inscription written on the side of a 428-meter tunnel built by the Roman as part of Slade aqueduct system in modern-day Algeria describes how the two teams of builders missed each other in the mountain and how later construction of a lateral link between both corridors corrected the initial error. The Romans dug tunnel for their road using the counter excavation method whenever they encountered obstacles such as hills or mountains that were too high for road to pass over. An example is the 37-meter long, 6-meter high Furlough Pass tunnel built in Italy 69 to 79th century. Remarkably, a modern road still uses this tunnel today. Tunnels were also built for mineral extraction. Miners would locate a mineral vein and then pursue it with shafts and tunnel underground. Traces of such tunnels used to mine gold can still be found at the Nology mines in Wales. When the sole purpose of a tunnel was mineral extraction, construction required less planning as the tunnel route was determined by the mineral vein.